Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Opening Pathways. Super excited today. I have Rush with me from Sell the Trend. Sell the Trend is an all-in-one drop shipping platform that helps users discover trending products and automate their online stores. How exciting is that? I shared with Rush I had some experience with drop shipping back in my Walmart.com days. Rush, it's great to have you with me.
Tom, thank you so much for inviting me on this podcast. I'm really looking forward to see what crazy discussions we're going to end up doing here.
Yeah, let's do it. I want to know what sparked your idea to start Sell the Trend.
Sure. So when I got into dropshipping in around 2018, 2019, I quickly realized in this business that without having a winning product, you're really not going to go that far, right? So I immediately realized that winning products was really kind of like the engine behind dropshipping and having an e-commerce store in the dropshipping niche. So there were some options out there to find kind of winning products, but I quickly realized that I wanted to kind of develop my own kind of solution. So I kind of developed like a little script that was going to help me find winning products for my own store at the time when I was running my own dropshipping store. And that kind of really was the beginning. It was really something that I developed for myself. And then I quickly realized that, hey, this thing is actually showing me winning products. So, why don't I basically allow people to kind of use the same technology that I was using successfully to find winning products? And that kind of snowballed into creating a business out of something that I just kind of developed for myself.
Got it. Tell me, I'm interested, and I know my viewers will be too. What are some of the key chapters in your life that led up to this venture you're on with Sell the Trend?
Sure, sure. So I consider this kind of like my second life and my second career because before getting into dropshipping and building Sell the Trend and kind of that path, I was actually a music producer. So I used to produce records and I had records on TV shows. I have even actually a song right now still on Netflix. But basically it got to the point where I was actually producing music for the last, I would say, is 8 or 9 years with like excruciating pain, right? Because I basically damaged my hearing over years of basically blasting music in my studio and in clubs and all the places that I went to. So basically, my ears got to a point where I was almost going to lose my hearing completely. So I went to a bunch of doctors. To make a long story short, I had to kind of change paths. And that's really when I got into dropshipping. That's when I figured out that I wanted to find something that was going to give me the same freedom and the same opportunity to kind of set my own path. And I discovered dropshipping, and that's kind of what led to Sell the Trend.
I see. You know how life's challenges brings us some interesting things, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm interested before in this journey you've been on. Did you have like mentors or influencers that have had an impact on your life?
Yeah, so I mean, I've definitely in the music when I was doing music, I definitely had mentors that kind of guided me and kind of gave me breaks along the way. And then when I moved to dropshipping, actually, um, when you move to something new like a brand new business, you kind of, you set your goals, right? And I had a kind of clear vision of where I wanted to take Sell the Trend. Once I decided I was going to do something called Sell the Trend and started developing it and building it and then releasing that first, MVP into the public as kind of like a free app where people can just kind of use. I kind of set my goals on, amount of users that I wanted and revenue goals and all that kind of stuff. And when I first started, I mean, I had some lofty goals. You know what I'm saying? And I thought, I'm going to release this software and everybody's going to jump on it, everybody's going to want to use it, and everybody was going to promote it. And the reality is, it's like any business. It's difficult to kind of get things going. I was kind of super lucky that when I developed Sell the Trend, that initial MVP, people really took to it really easily. And a lot of people talk about product market fit in the SaaS world, and you got to make sure that your product fits the market. I never really experienced that. I never even actually knew what product market fit meant, that term, until maybe a couple of years ago. And I've been running Sell the Trend for 6 years, so I never really experienced that. But going back to your mentor, I definitely talked to people that were in the dropshipping business way earlier than me, like um, um, you know, um, you know, there's a lot of different other websites and stuff like that that I talked to at that time. And just kind of to get feedback from them, like where have they seen? They've been in dropshipping for 20 years to kind of see how the business works and definitely, use their feedback to help me along the way.
Was there ever a moment you doubted your vision?
Um, every day, but not the vision. I never doubt the vision. I never doubt that what I'm creating is something that people are finding real value from. You doubt some decisions that you make, right? Or I don't know about doubt. Seems to be a harsh word. Doubt means you're sitting there going, "Oh, I made a mistake." It's never really that. Never doubt the vision. Never doubt where we're going. But you're always reevaluating. I guess maybe that's a better word. You're always reevaluating things that you thought, hey, this idea was gonna, blow up. Like when I create this is gonna be amazing. Or when we add this feature, people are gonna love. And what the reality is, the best way to actually develop that I learned is not to do it from what you think is going to work, but actually get user feedback. Really, that's really where we've decided to kind of guide the application is through user feedback. And the same thing happens for dropshipping as well. We teach in our courses, and whenever I talk to dropshippers, I always say when you're dropshipping, don't try to sell products that you love, right? You got to make sure that you're selling products that the market loves, right? Because you can look at a product or a toy or a gadget and you're like, hey, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be a big winning product. And you put it out and nobody wants it, right? So you always got to be informed by what the public wants. And for us, we're always going to be informed about what our users ask for.
I love to share wisdom with my viewers. Those of us that have been down these paths and avenues and made some turns here and there. We learn a lot to share. So I'm curious, if you went back and to day one of Sell the Trend, what would you do differently, and what would you do exactly the same?
So, differently, I think I would definitely would listen to user feedback 100% more than I did in the beginning. In the beginning, I was literally like Tarzan, gung ho. I'd be like, "Hey, this is like a cool thing. Let me add it. This is a cool thing. Let me add it." And I would spend thousands of dollars, on development and all that kind of stuff, and build features that were cool, are useful, but not exactly are strong to kind of guide the business forward. So that's something that I would definitely do differently. I think we would have gotten to where we are right now a lot faster by developing features that people want or functionalities that people want or integrations that people want. But in terms of things that I would do the same, I would definitely also, if you want to think about it like two halves of the same coin, I would also still develop all the things that we've developed for Sell the Trend. Because when we started Sell the Trend, it was literally just a product discovery tool, right? You go to Sell the Trend to find products for your store. And now Sell the Trend is a complete dropshipping app, like an all-in, people like to throw the term all-in-one dropshipping app, and everything's an all-in-one dropshipping app. Shopify is an all-in-one dropshipping app. The reality is Shopify is an e-commerce platform. If you want to dropship, you got to install an app like Sell the Trend. You got to install product reviews. You got to install, all that kind of stuff. Well, in reality, with Sell the Trend, we are really an all-in-one dropshipping app. If you use Sell the Trend, you do not need to use any other platform, not even Shopify, right? So yes, maybe we invested a lot of money in building this, massive platform, but I think it was worth it in the end.
Yeah, I'm sure you had some major turning points along this journey, and I'm interested in knowing what those early days taught you about trust.
Um, Well, I mean, if you think of it this way, at the end of the day, you have to trust yourself, right? If you don't trust yourself, if you can't kind of like, be in the darkness of your mind and have trust in yourself, you are going to make mistakes that you might not be able to recover from, right? Because failure of trust in yourself is almost like a disease. So you have to
Yes.
trust your vision, you have to trust in yourself. And then, like I said, even some of the mistakes that I think maybe we had done in the past, or as we're guiding Sell the Trend to where it is right now, you can't really look at those as mistakes because they have gotten us to where we are right now, right? So, trusting, and not only just trusting yourself, but also trusting your team. I think when I started Sell the Trend, I literally did everything in the beginning. I developed the application, I did the marketing, I ran the ads, I did the computer graphics, especially if you look at the early versions of Sell the Trend, the interface is not so pretty as it is right now with real designers designing it. So, trusting your team is something that I think it took me time to develop. If we're talking about where I've kind of developed as a CEO and as an entrepreneur, doing everything on yourself, you kind of gain that trust in yourself. Like, yeah, I can get it to work, but handing the reins over to people, to developers and to artists and support personnel and everything that we have in our company right now was a challenge for me. It's still a challenge to a certain extent. I mean, if you know some of the things that I still do in Sell the Trend, you'd be kind of like, why are you doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I'm actually, after let's say the YouTube thumbnail designer finishes it, and let's say the thumbnail is ready to go, I might actually go in there and edit the thumbnail myself because, oh, the text is not big enough or something like that. Like I'm still micromanaging the details, but at the same time, I have a massive team that is doing all these pieces, right? So definitely, and it's not, and that doesn't impact the YouTube designer. I mean, the thumbnail designer. I mean, I trust every single member of my team fully. It's just I still have that like lone wolf mentality of wanting my hand in pretty much everything.
Yeah, yes. I know some of my mistakes have been some of my biggest teachers, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm interested, we in our businesses and technology is moving so fast that sometimes we have to balance how we innovate, yet how we sustain. How do we take on new technology at the same time as keeping the lights on? Tell us about how you think about that.
Yeah, so this goes again back to making decisions informed by user requests, right? Like some of the changes that we make are informed by the market, right? Like you got to stay current with the market, right? Like if everybody's developing AI functionalities, you have to develop AI functionalities because everybody else has developed AI functionalities, right? And we've been into AI even before AI was a buzzword. Like our first, and we still use AI for pieces of our product discovery algorithms. But we're definitely informed by what's happening in the market, and we love staying at the at the peak of technology and innovation in the dropshipping game. But also we use that as we use our user. We send out user feedback surveys and we ask our users what they're looking for, and our core team of users that we ask for feedback. We want to make sure that we are not just doing things like we did in the past just for because they're cool or it's nice to add all these things to the platform. There's obviously a time cost and also real user impact to a lot of these changes. If we're adding a lot of features that people don't really care about, and then we're not adding features that people do care about, then that's obviously going to affect our users, and that's something that we definitely are very mindful of.
Yes. You mentioned your team, and I'm curious what leadership principles help you scale your team and make an impact.
Yeah, so I use this, and I'm sure this is not new news, but you always want to hire people that are smarter than you for the roles that they're doing, right? You want to find somebody like when I used to run our Facebook ads back in the day, when we finally brought somebody onto the team that is doing that right now, they are geniuses compared to me, right? So we're always obviously that's something that that is a driving force in terms of my decision making for hiring, always finding somebody that is way better than me at what they're doing, because otherwise what's really the point, right? Like what's the point of getting somebody at your level when you are not a Facebook expert or organic traffic master or any of the other roles that we have. So I want to make sure always to hire the best people.
Yeah. Yeah, our teams are so important. How do you protect the team when things get really risky or moving fast?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the buck always stops with me, right? So, I take on the decision making for a lot of the high level stuff. And if anything goes wrong, really at the end of the day, I've approved a lot of this stuff, right? So my team to me is my family, right? So I'm always there to protect them. I'm always there to make sure that even if they make a mistake, it's something that we can learn from
Yeah.
And if it's something that, sometimes the mistakes that happen is because I'm not being super specific. Let's say we want to develop a feature or something like that, and it comes back and it's not exactly, what we spec'd out. Sometimes it's just because, I didn't give them clear direction because I'm like, these guys are geniuses. I'm just gonna, they're gonna understand, what I'm thinking just because they know me so well and they know that I mean this and mean that. And sometimes it's not that, right? So my team is my family. I'm always protecting them for sure.
Love that. When the stakes are really high, how does Rush make decisions?
Oh, oh, I mean, uh, how can I say this? I'm obsessive, right? I'm absolutely obsessive about every aspect of the business. And one thing that I'm actually learning to do more is to make, faster decisions and realize that whatever decision you make, unless it's some kind of like super, super edge case minor decision that you cannot revert from, decisions you can actually revert pretty much any decision, right? I mean, it's going to cost maybe time, money, or something like that, but moving fast, I've prioritized moving fast over, perfection, which I used to do a lot more earlier on while running Sell the Trend. So that's really what I've been prioritizing, just kind of faster, and then we'll fix it in the mix, so to speak. Going back to my music production days, we'll fix it in the mix. In the mix.
In the mix. I love it. Fix it in the mix.
Yeah.
That's a good quote, Rush. How do you define success beyond metrics? What is your measure of success? Again, separate from metrics.
Yeah. So how can I say this? Like when I was producing music, success to me was never I was never impressed by the amount of money I was making or if this, I mean, of course, when I, had my first number one record, it was exciting, right? But to me, success has always been what are people that are listening to the music getting out of it, right? And now with Sell the Trend, success to me is what are people's experience while using this platform that they are paying their hard-earned money to use. That to me is the one and only real definition. Besides, metrics, that to me is the number one and only real measure of success. When I see those reviews, when somebody says, I was able to start my dropshipping business with this app and it was so easy and I'm excited to see what the future holds. There is nothing that brings me more joy than reading those reviews. And that to me is the number one definition of success.
Yes, our customers.
Mhm.
Um, Values are non-negotiable in your company.
Sorry, what was that?
What values are non-negotiable in the company?
Yeah, delivering on what you agreed to deliver on, right? So if a member of the team agrees to deliver on something, unless there is some kind of special circumstance, super special circumstance, hitting deadlines and hitting targets, and then basically delivering on the promise, right? Like anything, if we're talking about our team is our family, when you promise something, you deliver, right? So there is no slacking off. There is no, oh, I couldn't get to this because of this or that. Value is trust. And that goes back to your question about trust, right? Like I trust my team and I have to have trust in them that they're going to deliver.
Yes. I've learned a lot about you here, Rush. So have my viewers so far today. This is really engaging. And, I have to ask, how do you navigate pushback? What happens when you get pushback? How do you deal with that?
Yeah. So, like pushback, rejection, all of these things are literally just part of not just life, part of business, part of really anything, right? And the faster that I learned that failing at something or getting a pushback or not accomplishing or not getting the result that I want on the first try or the second or the third is just part of the process. It's literally part of the process. And actually, it's not only part of the process, it's part of the initiation fee to succeeding in anything, right? So when somebody pushes back or something doesn't work out, that is just part of the process, right? So I used to get upset and I used to stress out and I used to get really I don't want to say down, but I would definitely would take it to heart when things don't work out or somebody says something or whatever. But now I just realize it's really just it's part of just not again like not just part of life, but it's literally part of the initiation into getting anything done.
Yes. Tell us, what's Sell the Trend going to look like in 5 years?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Um, so right now, when you go to sell the trend, like I was saying before, you can build a complete dropshipping business just with sell the trend. You literally don't need any other application, and not a single other application on the market right now can actually say that, right? Where you can build this entire thing with just one application subscription. Every other tool that is out there right now requires something else to run, right? So think of it this way: if we are here now, in 5 years, once we finish a few things that I still want to implement in Sell the Trend, you might not only be able to actually get everything that you need to start a dropshipping business with Sell the Trend. Maybe you can also market with Sell the Trend. Your dropshipping stores. Maybe you're going to be able to run campaigns, run ads. Maybe you don't even run ads. We have so many ideas coming up. You might not even need to run ads to make sales. So, we are now at a level where, the future is just going to allow us to add so much more that it's super, super exciting.
Wow. Um, what is your biggest challenge right now? What's the biggest challenge you're facing?
I think the biggest challenge, like in any business, to be honest with you, especially where we are right now, there are this is just getting more and more people to learn about Sell the Trend, right? So, and not just to learn about Sell the Trend, is to really explain the value of Sell the Trend, because I feel like a lot of people still do not understand the full value of Sell the Trend, because there's nothing else out there like it, right? Like, so let's say you sign up to Shopify and you're like, okay, I know what Shopify is, right? It's going to allow me to build an e-commerce store. Great, I know what the value is, right? But now I need to add some of these other things in order to do some of these other things with the platform. So we still have a situation where, even brand new users that enter the platform, they still don't comprehend the fact that, oh, I don't need a Shopify if I don't want to. But if I have a Shopify, I can connect to Shopify. Oh, I don't need, but if I also have an Amazon store, I can connect an Amazon store to Sell the Trend. Explaining the value, especially when we started as just a product discovery tool, that has really been the biggest challenge. Is kind of turning people's mind when, if you go on ChatGPT right now and you say, what is the biggest dropshipping, sorry, what is the biggest product discovery tool right now, you'll probably get Sell the Trend as a response, right? So we've kind of ingrained into product discovery, and making that switch in people's minds where they're like, no, no, you can actually run the entire business, is definitely, still a challenge, but it's getting better and better every single day. Now, a lot of the messages that we see in our reviews online and stuff like that, people talking about building an entire business with Sell the Trend, but it's always a challenge, but we're definitely turning the corner on that.
Good. What keeps Rush inspired?
Oh, I mean, there's literally so many things that keep me inspired. Besides seeing our team grow and the new people that we keep adding to the team, which is always exciting because, to have people that, and as I'm giving away more and more the reins to the team, seeing people kind of fill into those roles is super inspiring, because, I can kind of see in them kind of some of the joy that I have experienced while building Sell the Trend, and seeing them kind of fill out into those roles and start to kind of super manage their own part of the application, has been super inspiring for me. And there's literally, like, tons and tons of things. Every day I come in to the office, there's always something new and exciting to kind of to keep me inspired. So, it's always a fun experience.
Our teams, they're great, aren't they?
Yes,
It's when they
absolutely.
step up, we see the rewards of our leadership. I'm interested to know, what are you hopeful about in the world today?
I mean, if you want to keep it to e-commerce and business, how can I say this? Like, I feel like there is so many people that want to start a business like drop shipping or e-commerce or anything like that. And I feel like the challenge that people put, sorry, the roadblocks that people put in front of them I feel like they're getting lower and lower, where people can now get into starting a dropshipping business from their own home with very low entry amount of money. Gives me hope that people now are going to have even more opportunity to make money and support their families through this business. So I'm definitely, definitely
Yes.
hopeful on how easy it's become to launch these kind of businesses.
Yeah, that's great. We need to make it easier for people to
For sure.
s- their family, I think. A couple more questions for you.
Sure.
If your younger self were watching this podcast we're recording, what would you tell them?
Let's keep it to this business because I have a lot of thoughts about the music business as well. Um, I mean, I think delegating a lot sooner in the process would definitely that's something that I would definitely share with my younger self. I mean, I feel like going back to the lone wolf and kind of being the master of many domains, so to speak. I feel like delegating and kind of allowing people to really flourish into their own roles and not even flourish into their own roles, even giving people the opportunity to step into roles a lot sooner. I would definitely, shake myself, shake
Yes,
my
yes.
younger self, and basically, slap me around a couple of times and basically say, wake up and let people do what they do best on their own, handing more of the reins. That's something I would definitely 100% share with my younger self.
Yeah, I can relate, Rush, that even in what I'm doing now of that idea that I can get this done, I can do it, and then I finally
Mhm.
surrendered
So
and
so bad. It's
hired
so bad.
hired hired a team around me, and it's like, oh wow, I get this now.
Yeah.
I don't have to
Yeah.
try and learn everything. It's a great lesson for us to learn. That speaking of lessons, I know our viewers want to know, and especially people that are starting out on a path of maybe being a founder or looking at starting a company. What words of wisdom would you share with them?
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't really have any background in business or anything like that, right? Like, the thing that I would definitely share with anybody interested in creating an application or launching any kind of business is to start, right? Start and learn as you go. I feel like a lot of people put a lot of roadblocks in front of them and they're waiting for the perfect opportunity or they're waiting for the perfect, MVP or, they're waiting for the perfect thing. And the perfect thing doesn't exist, right? Like every single day we are iterating on sell the trend every single day, right? There's not a single day that goes by and we're like, oh, we're good. We're done. This is it. This is the final product. It's perfect. It's not, it's every single day we iterate. And I think if there is one piece of advice is to get started and learn as you go and fix as you go and work as you go and improve as you go because there's never going to be a better time than yesterday.
Awesome. This has been great, Rush. I've really enjoyed our podcast here today. I have Rush with Sell the Trend with me. I know my viewers, you've heard a lot of things here that are interesting, and I suggest you listen to this one twice. Rush, thank you for being here today. I'm grateful you joined me.
Oh, thank you, Tom, so much. And this was a lot of fun and hopefully we can do it again soon.
I hope we do it again as well. So, my viewers, thank you for visiting Opening Pathways today. This is Tom Lenoble, and I'll see you next time.